Matt Gaetz has resigned from Congress, and that means we need to find a new congressman here in Northwest Florida. I'm Christopher Saul with Midbay News, which is a Northwest Florida news organization, and I'm going to tell you who I've heard being bandied about to run for this seat, Florida 1 district that goes from Walton County in the east all the way to the Alabama state line in the west. But first, I'm going to tell you how exactly it works. So when a congressperson resigns, a special election here in the state of Florida has to be called. Governor Ron DeSantis has instructed the Secretary of State to prepare for that special election to happen here in the next couple of months, but no date as of this moment has been announced. So there's 7 names that have been bandied around for the GOP side of this special election. We've got them, and of course there may be a Democrat that runs, but based on the last showing, and the last showing for really the last quarter of a century, I don't think it's going to be a Democrat. This last name is a kind of a sleeper that could happen, really dark horse. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility because this person has defied the odds before. So let's get into it. Number 1 is Michelle Salzman. She kind of seems to be maybe the front runner, kind of in the front of the pack. Multiple people have already gone up and asked her if she's going to run for this thing, and she's declared interest to run for this special seat. She's the state representative up in the northern part of Escambia County, so kind of like north of Pensacola is her area. And she had to unseat a sitting state representative there in Florida or in Escambia County in order to get that seat. And so she's had a hard fight before, and she could probably, do it again. She's got the infrastructure in place, pretty charismatic person. Name on the short list that also has some state government experience is former state representative over in Escambia County, the Pensacola area. That's Frank White. Frank has multiple connections with really powerful people in the GOP over in the western part of this district. So look for him to be somebody that's in the running and pretty serious candidate for this role. Number 2, Representative Joel Rudman. He's also made a name for himself here in the last couple of years as a state representative from Navarre. Kind of in the COVID time period, he's a medical doctor, talked a lot about COVID vaccinations, things like that, and made a name for himself in the House doing things of that nature. Number 3 is, again, the last, I think, state representative I'm going to put on this list of 6, but Patt Maney is a retired general in the Army. He won a Purple Heart in Iraq, is also was a practicing attorney for the longest time, and a judge here in Okaloosa County who ran for and won the state representative spot for southern Okaloosa County. So think like Destin, Fort Walton Beach. That area is what he represents in the state house. And he has a lot of pull in Tallahassee, but this is a special election, so he would have to win the votes from. Next up is James Uthmeier. Uthmeier was the campaign manager for Ron DeSantis for his presidential campaign. That's one of the names that keeps getting put in front of me by people that know better than I do. Number 5 is Marcus Chambers. Marcus Chambers is the superintendent of schools here in Okaloosa County, and it's been rumored he's been looked at for several state spots, so state Department of Education spots, so moving up the ranks, and he's incredibly popular here in Okaloosa County as well. And then for the dark horse candidate, this is somebody that is probably a long shot, but I wouldn't count them out because they've done stuff like this before. Bobby Wagner is the mayor of Destin. He's, I think, 30 or 31 and is one of the youngest mayors in the state of Florida. Pretty energetic, charismatic guy, and is involved in a lot of different stuff besides just the city of Destin. He's worked with several boards, has a couple of nonprofits of his own. So I wouldn't count him out. I do know it's a long shot, but I wouldn't count him out. So those are the 6 people that I think have the biggest chance of running for this seat here in the next little bit. Who do you think I've missed? Put them in the comments. Love to hear from you.